Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. Oh, I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. What this life is about. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love and it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love and it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love and it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Woo! Here we go. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors and let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Unity. Welcome to Unity Victoria, where the doors do swing wide open. That's one of the blessings for me of Unity, is that it's accepting of all. All are welcome. All are welcome. I'm going to draw today upon the Detroit Unity Temple website to discuss what is Unity. And again, I got to their homepage, just like I did Unity of Naples last week, and they caught my attention. And they had in huge, large letters, "Welcome to Detroit Unity Temple." And then the following words were, "The challenges and opportunities of life meet the awesome power of God within you." Where the challenges and opportunities of life meet the awesome power of God within you. Now I'm going to share what they said about Unity's 5 basic principles. There is only one God. God is absolute, good, omnipresent, always present, and omnipotent, all-powerful. God is spirit. Human beings have the spark of divinity within them, the Christ spirit within them. Their very essence is of God, and therefore they are inherently good also. God is neither male nor female, but is spirit and resides in everything: people, animals, trees, soil, and even the air we breathe. God is present in all people, not just in some. Jesus Christ obtained the fullest expression of God. He is the example, not the exception. Thought dictates actions. Human beings create their experience by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest realm in the real world has its beginning in thought. Prayer is a direct link to God. Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, healing, prosperity, and everything good. And then daily practice. Knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called the truth with a capital T, are not enough. A person must live the truth that he or she knows. But I really do like their welcoming sentence, where the challenges and opportunities of life meet the awesome power of God within you. Unity Victoria has 5 awesome values chosen by the spiritual community to provide Unity Victoria's beingness, what Unity Victoria is. So please join me in affirming these 5 values. Inclusivity, spirit-led, joy-filled, life-transforming, and compassion. Great compassion. My name is Pat Clarkson, and I will be leading today's service as well as being your Sunday speaker. I want to thank Reverend Vicky last week in her talk. She gave some clarity to the question about at the start of every new year, we release something and bring into us or realize something that we want to bring into our lives for the year going ahead. And then we just go a few weeks and we're into the Lent season and we're doing the same thing again. And last week I certainly didn't have an answer when I was asked, so I emailed Reverend Vicky and she said, hey, I'm going to answer it in the Sunday talk. So thank you so much. So what I heard was that, you know, in the new year, at the end of the year, when we release and then we renew or realize something, that's an event. And think about it. The old year is ending. The new year is starting. So it's refocusing us and saying we're going into a new year. But Lent, as Reverend Vicky said, is a season. And the purpose of Lent is to prepare us for the rebirth, the renewing of our spiritual awareness of who we are, our divine nature, the Christ within. And it's a spiritual practice that is being done over these 40 days. And you can do it every day, as she said, the release and the renew. So thank you for that clarity. I appreciate it. Now for an invocation or our opening prayer today, I'm going to draw upon mainstream Christianity. So that was an interesting one for me, because who do I go to? So I thought, let me look at their prayers. And what I ended up doing was I found this prayer written by a student at Xavier University. And Xavier University was founded in 1831. It's a Jesuit Catholic university in Cincinnati, Ohio. And the goal of a Jesuit and Catholic education is the integration of learning and spirituality, along with the development of a strong system of personal moral values. So I'm going to share with us during the invocation this prayer, and it is entitled, Slow Me Down. So let us take that moment to breathe in and slow down, to release any thoughts, and just to become still. Let us become fully aware of this moment. Slow me down, Lord. Ease the pounding of my heart by the quieting of my mind. Steady my harried pace with a vision of the eternal reach of time. Give me, amidst the confusions of my day, the calmness of the everlasting hills. Break the tension of my nerves with the soothing music of the singing streams that live in my memory. Help me to know the magical power of sleep. Teach me the art of taking minute vacations, of slowing down to look at a flower, to chat with an old friend or make a new one, to pet a dog, to watch a spider build a web, to smile at a child, or to read a few lines from a good book. Remind me each day that the race is not always won by the swift, that there is more to life than increasing its speed. Let me look upward into the branches of the towering oak and know that it grew straight and strong because it grew slowly and well. Slow me down, Lord, and inspire me to send my roots deep into the soil of life's enduring values, that I may grow towards the stars of our greater destiny. Amen. We will now sing Go Out and Shine before the Sunday talk.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You've got to go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. Go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, just make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Come on now, go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
I'd like to welcome Unity Comox Valley to the Sunday morning talk. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Unity Victoria and listening in. In this Lenten season, we are asking you, inviting you to release and renew. To release something that hinders or blocks you from reaching the fullness of your spiritual awareness and understand your spiritual understanding of your true divine identity, and to renew, to draw into your life what you already have within you, but you may not be calling upon. Something that you want to renew within you, bring more into the light. And I believe the release and renew process is to help us to grow our spiritual awareness and to grow our spiritual understanding of our divine identity. And this week I pulled out Robert Brummett's book, The Quest for Wholeness, and that reminded me of one of the reasons I am so willing to go through release and renew over and over. And the reason is, I want to be whole. I want to live from wholeness. Now, Robert Brummett defines wholeness as a divine idea. And we can't really picture what a divine idea looks like. We have different thoughts about it. For that reason, wholeness also has many aspects to it. People see wholeness differently. One idea of wholeness is that we are in balance in mind, body, and spirit. Another is that when we are in wholeness, we are in integrity with ourselves. Wholeness can mean that we are complete. We're not fragmented. We're not identifying ourselves in pieces. So I want to draw upon some of Robert Brummett's actual words about wholeness and the reason I am so willing to release and renew. Wholeness is the destination and wholeness is the journey itself. Means and ends are one. They cannot be separated. Think not so much about finding wholeness. Let your quest be one of becoming whole as you travel the path. There's nothing to discover but yourself. There's nothing worthy of the journey but the discovery of yourself. Think about those words. There's nothing worthy of the journey but the discovery of yourself. We don't go through release and renew unless we want to discover something, but we want to discover ourselves. Think about it. Because it's not always the easiest thing to do, to release something. So, yes. So release and renew are strong tools in our spiritual toolbox, strong spiritual practices we can draw upon. So I went and looked up what both these words mean. So the meaning of release, the word relax and release are closely related and they work together. Both are derived from the Latin word luxaria, which means to loosen, and they both also incorporate the prefix re, which means back or again. So release. Now, relax means to loosen up, to be less firm, to not be so structured. And then release means to set free. Release means to set free. Both imply the idea of letting go. In relaxation, we let go of tension in our mind and our body. And in releasing, we let go of people, things, thoughts, and anything that needs to be set free. I want to repeat that one. In releasing, we let go of people, things, thoughts, and anything that needs to be set free. Now, I thought, for me, releasing meant I was getting rid of something I didn't want. Let go, it's not helping me. This says releasing means to set free. And so I start to think, why would I hold on to something that causes me emotional pain? Why would I hold on to something that stops me from moving into this fullness of my spiritual being? And then I remembered that often I don't know what I'm still holding on to. That's part of this journey, is discovering it. So I don't know. And the other reason I realized in my journaling over the last 2 weeks on this is that if I've carried this belief, because for me it's always an underlying belief that drives my behavior. If I look deep enough, I'll get to the underlying belief that I don't know what I will be like if I didn't have this belief, because I live from it. This belief, when I look at it, has created the boundaries of how I make decisions, how I behave, my actions, and I'm not even aware I'm carrying that belief, or I'm still carrying that belief. So I thought, what's an example an analogy I could use. So the one I came up with is you got an old horse that's been living in a large pasture but has been fenced on all four sides its entire life. It's been to every corner of his pasture but never been beyond the fence. And then the horse's owner decides to buy a piece of property next to this pasture the old horse has lived in. And this piece of property is just like wild nature. No animal has ever grazed on the grass, and it just smells so good. And that freshness of, just in spring, think of that smell. You guys are experiencing it. And the piece of the property he bought gently slopes down to a beautiful little creek that runs through. And when you're back in the old pasture, you can smell that fresh smell of cold spring water. You can hear it running over the rocks and the birds, and it's just a piece of paradise. So the owner takes down one side of the four fences and opens it up. He comes up to the old horse and he says, "Come on, let's go check out your new space." And the horse walks with him until he gets to where the fence used to be. Fence isn't there anymore, but the horse knows it used to be there. And the horse stops. Now the horse sees and smells and hears this beautiful piece of land, but he won't step into it. His whole life he's had four fences around him, and he knows every corner of that area. And he doesn't know what's in that other area. What will it be like without four fences? So there's some fear, and there's some uncertainty. And what's going to define me now? Because those four fences have defined my world. So that explained to me why I may be holding on to things. Not even consciously. However, I have to admit that if I'm really think about it, these things have cropped up and I just push down. I go, I don't want to look at that. So yes, so there's my analogy on why I might be holding something that still causes me pain. Because you see, when we make a conscious decision to address something, so when I say, okay, I want to release being stuck, I've made a conscious decision, and as Reverend Vicky said, and I love the visualization of it, I'm going to move to the next step up. I shift energy. The energy shifts. And when we decide to get unstuck, we don't have to expend all this energy to keep it pushed down. We don't have to expend all this energy watching to make sure nobody's judging me for what I'm hiding about myself. I've shared that I've been in abuse. My first marriage was abusive, but there's some people in my life I've realized over this 2 weeks that I am very afraid of. And these people are people that have judged me in front of others, taken what we call in the program my inventory, and I've never negated it, never stood up for myself. And so this last 2 weeks I've said, why? Why am I afraid of them? So what I started to discover this week is that there is still a part of me, and I've been working on self-worth since I was 32, and I'm 67, and I have gone a long ways, but there's still a part of me I discovered that's afraid that they're telling the truth about me. So boy, this statement that I'm going to share with you that I chose really has opened up more areas for me to work on. So When Reverend Vicky and I were deciding what we were going to speak on, I chose a sentence, a release and renew statement. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking about the statement, and there was nothing behind it for me. No energy, nothing. So I said, read all the statements again. So, and then one came like it was flashing lights at me. And so I got a hold of Reverend Vicky, and I said, are you okay if I use this statement? So the one I chose was, I release feeling stuck. I renew my will to take the next step forward. I release feeling stuck. I renew my will to take the next step forward. So we're going to take a look at these two sentences. And the first one is, I release feeling stuck. So my question to you and my question to myself has been, how do you know you're stuck? What's it feel like? What's your behavior like? For a few weeks now, I have found that I am quick to judge and quick to anger, and that's not me anymore. So those are signs to me that there's something going on. There's something needing to be addressed within me that's causing me some de-stress. So what do you notice when you're stuck? What do you notice? And I notice my shoulders are up at my neck. But yes, so how do you know you're stuck? The second part of the statement I chose is, I renew my will to take the next step forward. So how do we renew? When I was writing this, I realized I got the process of going inside myself and looking and discovering why I did it and getting it all ready to release. I got that process down. Way down, too much. I remembered Reverend Vicky lots this week because in one of her talks, I believe it was when we were looking at Ask Yourself This, the question was, what if it was easy? What if it was easy? And I thought, oh, okay, Reverend Vicky, I hear you. What if this release was easy? Okay, because my way of doing it's a long way. But how do we renew? That process I'm not so sure of. But I remembered words of Jesus. And they're from Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 and 8. And I realized as I read them, and I'm going to read them to you also, is that how do I renew? How do we renew? We shift out of our human nature into our spiritual nature. Being stuck means I'm in my human nature. I'm not coming from the attributes of my spiritual nature. So here is the answer I got. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. Remember Unity's fifth principle, knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called the truth, are not enough. A person must live the truth they know. And we don't have to, and I say this all the time, we don't have to have lots of knowing, but the spiritual knowing we have, we've got to live from that. And if I live from that, I understand Jesus' words of asking. Because if I'm coming from my spiritual nature, I know that I am divine. And there's all this about me that's good. So, release and renew. So back to the statement, I renew my will to take the next step forward. So we've looked at the word renew, and now we're going to look at will. And there's two types of will, and we both know that, human will or God's will, self-will or thy will, divine will. So human will does not sustain. If we're coming from human will, we probably won't succeed. And I think of things like trying to change a habit or New Year's resolutions. And if I'm coming from human will, when the going gets tough, I bail. Because all of a sudden I'll say, oh, is this habit so bad that I gotta really change it? You better believe I'll go, no, if I'm coming from human will, it's not that important. I'll just stop trying to change it. Or, gee, I didn't get another New Year's resolution didn't get achieved. So I don't know if anybody can relate to that. But Linda Martell Whitsett, in her book Divine Audacity, informs us our brains favor survival and safety, which means we tend to exert our will in the direction of self-preservation. Thus, when it gets tough, I'll bail if I'm coming from my human will, my self-preservation, saying, oh no, you don't want to sweat it out. And what's really interesting, when we come from spiritual will, we don't have to sweat it out. It's totally different. I'm going to draw from Divine Audacity again to talk about the power of will and its three components. And the power of will's three components are choice, commitment, and willingness. The choosing power of will is our ability to choose a possibility among infinite possibilities. When we're coming from spiritual will, we choose the one that's right for us. And it sets our energy in motion. Because remember, once we make a decision, a choice to move to the next step, we've already changed our energy. So it brings a shift in consciousness. The second component of spiritual will is commitment. Commitment is the sustaining power of will. Commitment is the integrity meter. When I'm coming from spiritual will and I go, oh, is it really that important? The commitment of spiritual will says, yeah, it is, Pat. It was your intention. You chose it. Coming from a spiritual place, you've made this decision. So it brings me back to the path. So we have the power of spiritual will has the components of choice, commitment, and the third one is willingness. If commitment is the sustaining power of will, willingness is the fuel that makes the commitment possible. A willing spirit is the epitome of spiritual willpower. So the statement was, I renew my will to take the next step forward. Now, during my life, I've had many things I've wanted to do. Just project, learn, do something. And I always chose work. I always put work first and said, when the work is done, then I'll do this. Well, work is never done. So now I'm retired. And I realized that I am still not doing those things on my list. And in my journey, Elena, I thought, why do I not make time for me to do those things? Like, why? And I thought, well, is it what I'm choosing? But it isn't. I love what I want to do. It really interests me, and I've got all the freedom and all the time. So all the boxes are positive, and I'm still not doing it. So remember what I changed my release and renew? So I wrote in my journal, where am I stuck? And when I get stuck, I realize I've got a belief, an underlying belief that I'm not aware of that's driving my behavior. So I wrote in my journal, what is the underlying belief that stops me from using this time I've got and these things I want to do? Why am I not doing them? And I wrote it out in my journal and I left it in the universe and went about my day. And I knew that I would get an answer. I didn't know how I'd get an answer, but I knew that if I was open and receptive, I would get an answer. So a few days later, I was on a Zoom call with two dear friends, and I got my answer. I was sharing my thoughts about my van and my old dog and just being on the road and traveling. And I said, you know, I'm finding the walls of my house confining. And one of my dear friends got this funny look on her face, and I said to her, share with me what you're thinking. And so she shared, and this is what I heard. And she said, are you coming from your human nature or your spiritual nature with this? Like, because if you're coming from your human nature and you're feeling your house confining, then you're not coming from your spirit, because our spiritual nature, we're free no matter where we are. And so she said, I'm just not sure where you're coming from. Maybe, and I said, I'll take a look. So I want to share with you what I wrote in my journal after this incident. Bless her for her courage to speak. You see, I trust her explicitly that she would not do anything to harm me. And because it was her, I knew she had no personal agenda, nothing to gain. Because of this, I allowed myself to experience what I felt when she shared those words. Are you sure? Where are you coming from? It was like I had been punched in the gut. All the air left my lungs. All the air went out of me. Even though I physically did not do it, in my mind's eye, I saw myself hang my head in shame. I was saying to myself, why did I speak? Why did I ever think this was a good idea? You know your ideas hold no value. I need to remember where I rate, where I am in the pecking order. All of this was very familiar. I knew this feeling. I'd lived through it before many times in my life. I realized that my reaction in that moment was why I do not make time for what is important to me. Her words had uncovered deep inside me a belief about my self-worth. Now, I've worked hard, like I said, on my self-worth for 34 years. I've come a long way, but there were things, there's a woundedness that still needs to be healed. And it's not large, but it's enough of a woundedness to stop me from doing what I want to do. And I keep putting it on my list, and I keep finding other things, work things, not this talk isn't work, but housework and do this, and oh heavens, yes. So there were shadows, there's still tendrils of that message that I do not rate. I am not of value. So in the last 2 weeks, I've been stuck in my grief over the fact it's still here. I thought it was gone. I thought when I realized I am enough in my living room in Victoria, that meant that I had dealt with it all. So I've been angry. I felt sorry for myself. Moments I felt also. But how did that happen? I thought I had worked through it. So I looked at the second part of the statement, and I looked at Will, and I need to renew the will to take the next step forward. And what was the next step forward? That was puzzling to me. And I realized it's not asking me to do everything at once or get rid of it. It's asking me to renew my willingness to take the next step forward. I had to pray to become willing because, yeah, I was angry at times. Then I read something totally unrelated to spirituality, not even close. And here's what I read. Radical acceptance, in brackets, noun. Completely and totally accepting a situation from the depths of your body, mind, and spirit. Radical acceptance. Completely and totally accepting a situation from the depths of your body, mind, and spirit. And that so reminded me of Brahma's teaching of radical self-awareness. And then the next principle is deep self-acceptance. But I like this radical acceptance. That's what I needed to hear. And it reminded me of Gary Dorrance from Unity Comox Valley, who was a teacher when I was asking questions in the TLC class about denials and affirmations. And I remember one day Gary looked over at me and just said, yes, I acknowledge the reality. And Reverend Vicky had said this too, but Gary looked at me quietly and said, but it has no power over me. I affirm. Like he was just... So I read it again, Radical Acceptance, and I thought, this is my next step forward. I have to totally and completely accept that this was part of my life and I have more work to do on it. That there was still woundedness that needed healing. And what I realized when I accepted it in that moment, it had lost its power over me. And I was done my grieving. I had become unstuck. I had become unstuck. The lights were back on for Pat, this capital L light, spiritual light. So I said, okay, so now that I've become willing, what is the next step forward? And the next step forward was I had to remember what I know. So the question to me was, and it wasn't even a question, it was a statement. Remember what you know. And what do I know? I know I am a spiritual being tasting human experiences. Yes, some days I feel like I'm not tasting, I'm taking a big bite out of human experiences. But I am been given the gift of life. I'm a spiritual being that's been given the gift of life to experience human life. So yes, I am moving forward. And this was the other thing I remember, and this is what I will close with. I remember the light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. So thank you for listening to me and my journey of the last 2 weeks. And I hope there's some nugget in there for you. And so it is. We are now going to listen to Karen Drucker's song, Loving Kindness. I'm going to invite you to listen to the words, the music, the intent of the song. Allow yourself to become one with it and set yourself into that place of stillness and silence for when we go into the meditation. At the end of the song, I will be joining you with meditation. Namaste.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease, and may we be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. I am filled with loving kindness.
kindness. I am well, I am peaceful and at ease, and I am happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well, I am peaceful and at ease. I am happy. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well, I am peaceful and at ease, and I am happy. I am happy. I am happy.
I am filled with loving kindness. I am loving kindness in physical form. I am filled with loving kindness. I am responding with loving kindness. I am filled with loving kindness. My heart is full of love for who I am. In the silence, I am loving kindness. In the silence, I am. My heart blooms with compassion as I meet others in love. I bless them, seeing only their divine identity. Wherever I go and whomever I meet, my heart hears a call for love and holds the sweetest desire to sow the seed of love. I am loving kindness, and so it is. It is through your loving kindness of sharing your abundance that Unity Victoria is financially blessed. Thank you. So please join me in affirming the prosperity blessing. I am an ever-expanding expression of divine abundance. I firmly establish myself in the flow of giving and receiving. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. Please remember to continue to check in at your Unity Victoria weekly e-bulletin for ongoing news and connections, how to get to the service, and also how to join me at 11:30 for fellowship. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. We take the opportunity, usually every Sunday, to have a discussion about what was shared in the Sunday talk. So please do drop in and say hello. I was, as my talk shared, I've been going through some things, and on my vision board for this week, I have put a picture and a saying that Gail Riel had sent me after she moved to Edmonton, and I want to share it with you. And it's a picture of a chubby little girl, and you're seeing the back of her, and she's got on cowboy boots, a pink tutu, and a saucy cowboy hat. And the saying says, some days you just gotta put on your cowboy boots and dance. So, blessings on your week. I invite you to put on your dancing shoes, and if you got cowboy boots, go for it, and dance with life this week. Just dance with it. Go with the flow. Go with the music of life. Remember, you are a blessing, and you are blessed. Please join me in the closing of today's service. We're going to first say Unity Victoria's blessing, and then the prayer for protection, and then we'll sing the peace song. So please join me in Unity Victoria's blessing. Unity Victoria's spiritual community is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us, and we accomplish mighty works together. And now for the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Again, blessings on your week. Let us close with the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment